Good day, everyone. I am Joy Aquino. Today, I will be presenting my output for Lesson 3, the three domains of learning, the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains. The purpose of this presentation is to define activities for the cognitive, 5 for the affective, and 5 for the psychomotor domains. For each activity, I will clearly point out the verb use and explain why it appropriately belongs to its respective domain. So we will begin with the cognitive domain. Domain refers to the area of learning that deals with intellectual skills, knowledge acquisition, and the development of thinking abilities. It is essentially the thinking domain of learning. Let's look at the first set of five activities. Number one, define the main characters and setting of the story. The verb used here is define. This belongs to the cognitive domain. The verb define requires the student to recall or recognize previously learned facts, terminology, or knowledge. The student is not analyzing or creating new information. They are demonstrating their basic knowledge based by accurately stating the established meaning or identity of the characters and setting. Number two, construct a flowchart illustrating the step of photosynthesis. The verb used here is construct. The verb construct requires the student to break down the complex process of photosynthesis into its component and then reorganize or structure them logically into a new coherent visual presentation, the flowchart. This involves synthesizing and applying rules of sequence. Number three, justify the government decision to implement a new policy. The action verb used here is justify. This belongs to the cognitive domain, specifically the evaluating level of Bloom's taxonomy, because the student must make a reasoned judgment based on criteria. They are not just recalling facts, they are assessing the merits and offering defense for a complex decision, which requires high level intellectual skill. And next is number four, compare and contrast the characteristics of two different animals. The verb used here is compare. So this belongs to cognitive domain because this requires breaking down information and differentiating between elements. Number five, solve a mathematical equation involving fractions. The verb used here is solve. The verb solve requires the students to use a learned method, formula, or mathematical principle, rules for fraction operations, and execute it to completion. It is a direct and necessary application of intellectual knowledge to a procedural task. So the next is affective domain. So, affective domain refers to the area of learning concerned with emotions, feelings, attitudes, values, interests, and appreciation. It focuses on how learners feel, respond, and relate to the material, to others, and to the process of learning itself. It is one of the three major learning domains in educational psychology, alongside the cognitive, thinking, knowledge domains. The goal of objectives in the affective domain is to describe and foster positive changes in a learner inner world and their interaction with the external world. So, here are the five activities. Number one, listen attentively as your classmate presents their research. The verb used here is listen. This activity is in the affective domain at the receiving level, the lowest. Listening requires the student to show awareness and willingness to attend to a stimulus and discuss The presentation, while it passive, this conscious choice to focus attention is the foundational step for internalizing values and ideas. Number two, participate in a class discussion by offering a new perspective. The verb used here is participate. This belongs to the affective domain at the responding level. Participating moves beyond mere awareness. It demonstrates an active response to the situation and shows the students' interest and willingness to engage with the learning activity and the view of their peers. Number three, defend your personal belief about the importance of recycling. The verb used here is defend. This is classified under the affective domain at the valuing level. To defend a belief means the student has attached worth or value to the concept of recycling. The act of defending shows a comment to this value and a willingness to articulate why it is personally important. And next is number four. Number four, collaborate effectively with your group members on the poster. The verb used here is collaborate. This is classified under the affective domain at the organization level. Collaborating requires the student to integrate their own values, like teamwork and patience, with the values of others. They must weigh different perspectives and prioritize group goals over individuals' differences, which is an emotional and value based adjustment. Number five, demonstrate consistent respect for all speakers, regardless of their view. The verb use is demonstrate. The consistent action implied by demonstrate means the value of respect is fully integrated into the student's personality, and this internal value system reliably controls their behavior across all speaking situations. And next is the psychomotor domain, refers to the area of learning focused on physical movement, coordination, and the use of the motor skills. In the performance task, it is one of the three main educational domains in learning theory, alongside the cognitive knowledge or thinking and affective emotions or attitudes domain. The psychomotor domain emphasizes the development and application of physical abilities ranging from simple reflexes to complex, skilled movements. The term psychomotor itself highlights the link between mental activity, psycho, and physical action. Motor, the thoughts or conscious activity that precede, accompany, and follow the movement. So, here are the five activities. Number one, imitate the hand movements demonstrated by the instructor. The verb use is imitate. This activity is classified under the psychomotor domain at the imitation level, the basic level. Imitating involves copying or repeating the action demonstrated by another person. The student is simply trying to reproduce the action, showing minimal skill development but active physical engagement. Number two, assemble a simple model using provided tools and instructions. The verb use is assemble. This belongs to the psychomotor domain at the manipulation level. Assembling requires the student to follow directions and use tools perform a sequence of actions. They are performing the skill under guidance, not yet independently or precisely, but showing basic competence in handling the materials. And number three, perform a dance routine smoothly and accurately to the rhythm. The verb use is perform. From this is classified under the psychomotor domain. At the precision level, the verb perform combined with the adverbs smoothly and accurately, indicates that the student can execute the skill independently and with a high degree of proficiency and control. The action is refined and generally free from errors. And next is number 4, design and draw detailed sketch of a machine part. The verb used is draw. This activity belongs to the psychomotor domain at the articulation or adaptation level. Drawing a detailed sketch requires coordination and consistency of movement. The act of modifying the blueprint shows the student can adapt a standard physical skill, like drawing, to fit a new non-routine requirement, demonstrating flexible motor skills. And the last one is number 5, operating the laboratory equipment efficient and safely. The verb use is operate. This clearly falls into the psychomotor domain at the highest level. The verb operate implies that the manipulation of the fine motor controls of the microscope focusing the lenses. So adjusting the stage is done with such ease and automaticity that it is second nature. This demonstrates physical skill and perfect coordination. So thank you for listening. That concludes my presentation of three domains learning activities across the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains.